We would like to now go back to the atomic origin of magnetism and try to understand in the atomic level what causes the magnetic dipole moment of free atoms. So this is the question we are asking: what is the origin of the magnetic moment of a free atom? So let's start with a free atom here. So when we look at an electron that is basically orbiting around the nucleus, we have positive charge in the nucleus due to protons, and the electron is moving in an orbit, so it has an orbital angular momentum, and it's also spinning, so it has a spin angular momentum. And furthermore, we can introduce an external magnetic field that may affect the orbital motion and the spin of the electron. So the answer to this question is we have contributions from three possible motions of the electron. One is the orbital angular momentum. So it's the orbit of the electron around the nucleus. Two is spin angular momentum. The electron is spinning around about its axis, so it's spin angular momentum. And the third contribution to the magnetic moment comes when we have an external field that is interacting with the first two. So we have external field H interaction with the spin and orbital motion. So spin and orbital motion of the electron. So these are affected by the presence of an external magnetic field. Now we can analyze these contributions using quantum mechanics, as well as we can use a classical model in order to predict what these contributions should be. So we're going to start out with a simple treatment, and that gives us a very good idea, a nice picture to refer to in order to understand the atomic origin of the magnetism. So that is the classical model, and we will start out with the electron orbital magnetic moment. Now I have an electron here that is moving with a tangential velocity v on an orbit which has a radius r with respect to the nucleus, which has a positive charge, a proton, and the angular speed of the electron I call omega. So basically I'm assuming a uniform circular motion of the electron. Okay, so in this model I have uniform circular motion of the electron. So from classical mechanics point of view, we can analyze the contribution to the magnetic moment. Now, since I have uniform circular motion, this implies a few things about the motion of the electron. One is that its tangential velocity v is related to its angular speed omega. So v is equal to omega times r. That is one result. The second important result is that the tangential speed v is the circumference of the circle 2 pi r divided by t, the period of the motion, which is basically looking back at the first equation. Also, this can be written as omega is 2 pi divided by the period, or 2 pi times the frequency of the rotation. So v is my tangential speed, omega is my angular speed, t is the period, r is the radius, and f is the frequency. So this is what I know from uniform circular motion. Now, looking at the current that this electron is producing, so this is equivalent to a current and how much is the current? Current is the charge dq dt. So the charge that is moving is the electron charge, so it is minus E, and it is in one revolution it's basically going to have a delta t of 1 period, so t is my period. And then the magnetic moment that this is going to create, the magnetic moment m, using our SI picture, let's call this orbital magnetic moment, so it is m sub o. That is basically orbital contribution. This is going to be equal to the current times the area of the loop. So this basically is going to have an area A here. So you have a current loop and it has the charge flowing in one revolution in one period. So we have a minus E over the period is the current that we're creating, and the area is pi r squared. Okay, and since we have basically the relationship between V and R is 2 pi r over t, or omega is 2 pi over t, I can write this m0 as, if I multiply the top and bottom with 2, so you can see that I have minus E two pi r squared divided by 2t. So this can be written as, because 2 pi over t is omega, the angular speed, I can use this relation to write the orbital magnetic moment as minus E omega r squared divided by 2. Now we can talk about the angular momentum of this motion. So let's take a look at the angular momentum. So the orbital angular momentum I'm going to show with p theta orbital. This can be written as mass of the electron, the tangential speed times the radius, because the definition of angular momentum was r cross with mv, the momentum, the linear momentum. So we have the radius vector r, so that is with respect to the axis of rotation. So if you look at r cross mv, your angular momentum vector is pointing into the board, and you can see that because r and mv are perpendicular to each other, sine of 90 will give you 1, so you have mvr. And this can also be written as mass of the electron, so me is electron mass. This can be also written as me omega r times r, which is mass of the electron omega r squared. So basically I'm using this relationship, v is equal to omega r, and substituting it into the angular momentum. So combining this result, the orbital angular momentum of the electron is mass of the electron omega r squared, with the result I obtained for the magnetic moment of the electron, which is for the orbital motion, minus e omega r squared over 2, I can come to the following conclusion. Now, if I substitute this result into the orbital magnetic moment, basically orbital magnetic moment, MO, is for omega r squared, I can substitute the angular momentum divided by mass of the electron. So then I have minus e over 2 mass of the electron times the orbital angular momentum. So this is the classical result. The contribution to the magnetic moment should be minus e over 2 me multiplied by the orbital angular momentum. So let me write here the quantum mechanical result. So if we were to use quantum mechanics, this would be modified. You would have the magnetic moment due to the orbital motion to be minus e h bar over 2me times the quantum number, orbital angular momentum quantum number, m sub l. And so you can see basically we are replacing the orbital angular momentum p theta with h bar times m sub l. So the classical model orbital angular momentum becomes m sub l h bar. By doing so, you can obtain the quantum mechanical result. And what we see here in this parentheses, eh bar over 2me, that is called mu b, the Bohr magneton. So we can basically conclude that the contribution from the orbital motion of the electron is a Bohr magneton multiplied with the orbital angular momentum quantum number m sub L. And the classical result just tells us minus E over 2 mass of the electron times the orbital angular momentum. So this is the contribution we obtain using the classical model, and I have just given you the result from quantum mechanics. So basically, the conclusion is that the contribution to the magnetic moment is minus E over 2 mass of the electron times the orbital angular momentum. Okay, so we are trying to answer the question, what is the atomic origin of the magnetic moment of a free atom? As I said, the electron is orbiting around the nucleus, so there's the orbital angular momentum. It's also spinning, so it has a spin angular momentum. And now you can also introduce an external magnetic field, H, and this external magnetic field will interact both with the orbital and the spin angular momenta, so it will affect the contribution to the magnetic moment from these two. So these are the different types of motion we need to analyze, and I started with a classical model. So let's just assume that we have electron as a solid particle that has charge minus E, which is rotating around the nucleus, which has positive charge, and in the uniform circular motion, the tangential speed is related to the angular speed with v is equal to omega r, where r is the radius, and omega is 2 pi divided by the period t, or 2 pi times the frequency. And the current that this electron is producing by orbiting around the nucleus is the charge that flows per unit time minus E divided by the period t. The magnetic moment, using the SI definition, is current times the area, so minus E over t times pi r squared. So substituting omega is equal to 2 pi over t here, we see that the orbital magnetic moment is minus E omega r squared over 2. The orbital angular momentum is simply mvr, because the position vector with respect to the rotation axis r and the linear momentum mv are perpendicular to each other, and since v is equal to omega r, the angular momentum is m omega r squared for the orbital motion. So if you substitute for omega r squared, p theta o divided by mass of the electron, we see that the answer is minus E over 2 me multiplied by the orbital angular momentum. In quantum mechanics, the orbital angular momentum is replaced with the orbital magnetic quantum number m sub L times h bar. So minus E h bar over 2 me times m sub L is the contribution, and E h bar over 2 m sub E, which is the mass of the electron, is called a Bohr magneton. So basically, this is telling us that it is a Bohr magneton. So the contribution is minus a Bohr magneton times m sub L. So that's the quantum mechanical result. So it really resembles the classical result, except that we have quantization of the orbital angular momentum.